All right, well, we're here. I'm joined by professional fly fishing guide Chad Chorney. Chad, thanks for being up here.
Pleasure.
So where are we, Chad?
We're on the Littlewood River, which is, we're between Richfield and Cary right now, and it's called the Bear Track Williams Access Point. Just to note that this section of the river is fly fishing only. It's catch and release, barbless hooks, so it's open year round. It's from milepost 190 to 192.5 on the highway here. Okay,
so we're all geared up right now, but our rods and reels are not quite geared up yet. Now, you said you noticed something about my line that we needed to fix before we could actually hit the lake. What do we got?
Yeah, your leader's pretty short. It's only about 3 feet, so we're just gonna cut this part off and then put a new leader on. So I'm going to show you a little trick to make changing your leaders easier.
Okay.
We can use part of this old one. I'll just snip that part off and then never throw it on the ground so birds will get caught. And this is what we're going to do, is called a perfection loop, and it's really easy to tie, and you leave that on the end of your fly line so that you can change your leaders pretty quickly. So you only need 8 inches or so, and then give yourself about 3 or 4 inches. You just make a kind of a big loop like that. Okay, so you've got one main loop. Pinch it between your thumb and finger, then you take this tag end and bring it back in front of that, so you've got another loop. Okay, and then you pinch that, and then you just take the tag end again and go between the 2 loops you formed, reach through and pull this other loop, and then you just wet it so that the line doesn't burn when you tighten it, and you just tighten it up. And now you've got that loop on the end, so you can change leaders really quickly.
Now, for those of us not familiar with what a leader is, can you kind of explain what a leader is?
Yep. Well, in fly fishing, it's not like bait fishing or fishing with lures, because you're not casting the weight of the lure.
Right.
You're casting the weight of the fly line. You can see the fly line is thick. It's got weight to it. So obviously a fish can see, if you were to try to tie your fly directly to this fly line, you wouldn't get very far. Fish can see that it's heavy, so you need a connection from your fly line to your fly, and that's what you use a monofilament leader. It's just like regular fishing line.
Okay.
It's tapered. The thicker end is toward the fly line, down to a thinner end where you tie your fly, and that helps the leader turn over, lay out straight.
Right.
And then you tie your fly to the end of that. So we're ready for a fly. And on the Littlewood this time of year, it's early May. The water is probably kind of cool, so we're probably going to fish in mostly streamers. Okay. There's not as many bugs in here as there are in some of the kind of more famous rivers up north, like the Big Wood or Silver Creek. There's a lot of bait fish in here, so streamers are usually a little bigger, and they imitate bait fish, which is, big fish eat little fish. So we're going to just probably try just a standard, what's called a woolly bugger.
What is the difference between a wet fly and a dry fly?
Dry fly will float on top of the water.
Okay.
And you're usually trying to imitate a bug that's floating, like a mayfly or a caddis or a grasshopper, maybe a beetle.
Right.
A wet fly can be a nymph or a streamer. A streamer like this is just a woolly bugger. It can imitate all kinds of different things, a crayfish, a leech, a minnow, a small trout, and a nymph, which we've got plenty of those. These will imitate kind of the underwater life stage of a mayfly, generally, is what these are imitating. Okay. So you fish them different ways. Dry fly, you're fishing, different than you would a streamer, and a nymph you're fishing differently as well. So,
right.
Then we can talk about that when we get on the water and see how to fish it. So.
All right. So we have a streamer here, a woolly bugger.
Yep.
How do we attach that to the line?
Okay. The easiest way, and a pretty strong, easy knot to tie, is called an improved clinch knot.
Okay.
Use that most of the time. And I'll show you how to tie that. It's just basically take about 3 or 4 inches of your leader, and you're going to put that through the eye of the hook twice, actually. So you go through once. Twice just makes it a little bit stronger. Right. On a bigger fly, you might not need to do it, but I always do it twice. You put it through back the same way you came. So you've got a you've got a loop formed right there.
Okay.
Okay. And then once you've got your loop and your tag end, you just simply wrap this tag end around the main leader 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Okay. Just like that. And then you're going to take your tag end back through both loops.
Okay.
And then the last step is to reach through, pull that tag end back, wet it again, and then just pull it tight. Just
okay.
That's it. And clip off the tag end. And then here, like I said, it's barbless hooks. You can see most hooks when you buy them, they've got a barb on there.
Right.
And just in a catch and release section, barbless section, we pinch the barb down with just a pair of forceps.
Okay.
Makes it easier on the fish when you release them. So you just pinch that flat. You can see now it's just flat against the hook, and then you're ready to go. So that's all there is to it.
Excellent. So. All right, Chad, so it looks like we're all geared up.
Yeah.
Next up, we're gonna be getting in the river. That's coming up next on Angling Southern Idaho.